Oh, they're going to start the roof today, so they're levelling off the site because they're going to have to put their scaffolding towers up. Suntory has purchased some more shuttering, which will be used when they do the ring beam. And then after we finish with the wood, she'll use it on her farm. She'll be using it in her cow shed. So nothing will go to waste. So we've got a couple of scaffolding towers here. And what they need to do now is they need to set the plates that go over the steel that's coming out of the concrete post. They've got to set them all and weld them all to the same height, so they've got their water spirit level in the hose that's attached to the side there. He's just getting it out there. You can only see this in profile because I'm pointing the camera up into the light. So this is going to be quite a slow job because they've got to reposition these two towers each time they change a post. They've only got enough for two at a time. These are the plates that are going on top. Often these don't have holes in them. They come without holes in them, and what a lot of builders do is they cut off the steel that's sticking out of the post and then they weld this on top. But Suntory wanted holes put in. She went to a workshop and got holes drilled so that they can weld from above, which is a lot easier to guarantee a good weld, a good fix, than if you're cutting the steel off and then having to weld from underneath. So what they're doing here is they're getting a level on each post and marking it. So all these marks will be exactly the same height, and that will give them a mark to work off when they're doing the welding and setting the roof. Rain stopped play.
มันอยู่ติดกับบ่อทรายห่างจากบ่อทรายจากนี่ไปบ้านนู้นเนี่ยไปหลังคาแดงๆนั่นแต่ปลาดูปลาโคงเป็นไงเลยปลาโคงปลาโคงดำปุ๊ดช่อนผมไม่กล้าเอาแหหวานลุงเอาแหหวานลุงเอาขึ้นไม่ได้แน่ลึกจัด
What they're doing here is they're welding the steel upper ring beam lengths together, and then they'll be able to take them up onto the roof and well, cut them first to the length, ultimate length, and then mount them between the posts and weld them onto the plates. What they were going to do is they were just going to weld the two pieces of metal together here, and that was it. And I said, well, I would like them to have some pieces of steel welded across the top and the bottom, just to give it some extra strength at the weld point, because these weld points are probably going to end up in between posts, so they're going to be a weak spot when the roof's on. It just adds a little bit of safety factor, I guess. If that weld between the two pieces isn't 100%, then we've got 4 pieces of steel just to make sure that that joint stays unbroken and doesn't move. It takes them a little bit longer, but they're quite happy to do that. I think they realise now that everything I asked for is just a bit overkill. But on the other hand, I'm not working to any technical drawings. I haven't got any technical knowledge of the strength of these things, so I'm just adding strength where I see fit to anything that I can, in the hope that it works.
cái nhà qua cái thuốc vô quá cái nhà quaเปิดเครื่องให้หน่อยเลยเปิดเครื่องเลยเนี่ยโยนก่อนฮะเอ้ยคือดูว่าแต่สูบลงไปเลยไหนวะเดี๋ยวได้ยิงไหนเลยวะซอยได้ซอยดันได้ปะนี่ก่อนมาซอยปะเดี๋ยวไหนไปทางพุ่งดันเสาตัวนี้ไปพุ่งโอ้อีกพอเอาได้พี่แจ๊คดันมาพี่พอได้เนาะบอกเว้ยนี่มันอยู่กลางมันน่ะกลางเพจมันน่ะกลางเพจอีกแล้วคันกลางเชื่อมกลางตัวนี้เล็กกันนะนี่เล็กนี่นะก็ไปใส่กลางทางนี้คือได้กลางมันหมดน้ำตัวนี้คือบ่ได้เอาสั้นรับไปบิดดิเอาบิดเอาได้แล้วนี่ได้กันน้ำรถทำเลยดิเอาจวด
So I'm doing the detail on the little shower room now, putting things up like the soap holder and a couple of towel holders. I'm in the process of putting the basin in. I've just got to get a couple of brackets underneath there, just to give it extra support. Putting this shower riser up, very nice stainless steel shower riser, but the fixings they give you are absolutely pathetic. Look at these. The length of those screws and this plug, there's no way that's going to hold it on the wall. So I've changed it for a screw that's that long and a plug that's that big. And that's the hole that you're supposed to screw through. It's so huge. So what I'm doing is I'm putting a washer on it. So you end up with a load that's spread across across the hole, so it's not going to get any stress, it's not going to burst through, so that should last a lot longer. My advice is, whenever you buy fittings, is always look at the way they want you to fix them to the wall and basically change them, because invariably these plugs are far too small and the screws are far too thin. They might be long enough, but they're thin and a bit pathetic. I always change them. I always go for new screws and plugs and washers to make sure that we don't get any problems. So this shelf here, for example, I've actually used their screw, I think, but I've put a couple of washers under there to spread the load, because this is just plastic and this is going to go brittle eventually, I know, in this climate. But if you screw into that too hard to start with, you'll split it. Or if you screw too hard and it doesn't split immediately, then as things move in the heat, it'll split. So that system of always changing and adding washers, I've found to be foolproof. You just don't get any problems after that from stress. It's raining again, but they're doing what they can under cover of the garage. They've got a couple of things up. And they've got a couple more prepared.